Justin Baldoni's team has officially filed a lawsuit against Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, as well as Blake Lively's publicist for $400 million. I haven't looked at the lawsuit yet, but in TMZ's headline, it says that they even call out Taylor Swift for pressuring him on the script. Now, it's not just Justin Baldoni who filed this lawsuit. It's also his studio, Jamie Heath, and Jennifer Abel, as well as Melissa Nathan. And the list of why they're suing is pretty long. Civil extortion, defamation, false light invasion of privacy, breach of implied covenant of good faith and fair dealing, intentional interference with contractual relations, intentional interference with prospective economic advantage, and negligent interference with prospective economic advantage. And his attorney put out a statement saying this lawsuit is a legal action based on an overwhelming amount of untampered evidence detailing Blake Lively and her team's duplicitous attempt to destroy Justin Baldoni, his team, and their respective companies by disseminating grossly edited, unsubstantiated, new, and doctored information to the media. It's clear based on our own all-out willingness to provide all complete text messages, emails, video footage, and other documentary evidence that was shared between the parties in real time that this is a battle she will not win and will certainly regret. Blake Lively was either severely misled by her team or intentionally and knowingly misrepresented the truth. We know the truth, and now the public does too. Justin and his team have nothing to hide. Documents do not lie. In the TMZ article, it is saying that in Justin's lawsuit, it's calling out not only Ryan Reynolds, but also Taylor Swift for getting involved in writing the script. He said they had a meeting at Blake and Ryan's penthouse about the rewrite, but he now feels it was more of an ambush. Justin says Ryan was there from the start singing the praises of Blake's rewrites, and then hours later, Taylor popped in with her 2 cents about applauding Blake's version of the scene. The documents include emails between the two actors right before filming began, and Justin claims Blake expressed warm gratitude for all the work they'd done to prepare, but he also believes it was all a facade so she could wrestle away control from him. I'm gonna try and find the lawsuit and see if I can break it down for you guys if it's any different than the other lawsuit he has already filed against the New York Times, and if so, I will let you know.
I just saw that Justin Baldoni sued Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds I don't know where he comes in, but for $400 million. And I thought to myself, like, when TikTok's no longer here, I'm not going to have a 10-minute lawyer breakdown from somebody saying, like, I read the 400-page lawsuit, and here's what you need to know about it. Because where am I going to find that now? Like, that's going to be nowhere to be seen or found or heard. So I think I'm just going to care less about all this shit now. Like, I got involved. I, like, started to care about it because I just, like, started seeing it all on my free page, and I was like, oh, shit, like, that's kind of damning. Like, oh, fuck, like, oh. And I would just see all these different people like, oh, whoa, whoa, like, you know? And now, I don't think I'm going to care anymore. I don't think I care at all to begin with, by the way. Like, I'm sorry to both of them. I wish them both well. Or if they don't deserve, I don't know. Like, I don't actually care. But, like, I cared because of you guys, the people on here that were so excited about it. Not excited, that's not the right word. But, like, curious about it and breaking it down, and now I don't know. I wish them both the best. I love Deadpool. I'm sorry. I'm gonna watch everything Ryan Reynolds does. Like, can't take him from me, but also, like, I didn't know who Justin Baldoni was before all of this. And I think it's gonna go back to that. It ends with when TikTok ends, honestly.
It's the lawsuit we've all been waiting for. Justin Baldoni is officially sued Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and their publicist. And we may even see Taylor Swift take the stand, as she may have to testify. Baldoni claims in the suit that Blake Lively never read the book, and that Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds made huge changes to the script. And when Baldoni was invited to Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds' penthouse that day, Taylor Swift was there and apparently pushing the script, saying that Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds' version was better. And if you guys remember, Taylor Swift never promoted It Ends With Us. Never shouted out Blake for her work on the movie during the promotion, which I find even weirder now, because if Taylor Swift was the one pushing the script that Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds wrote, then why wouldn't she be promoting it, like, on Instagram and things like that? She stayed completely quiet throughout all of this. So I wonder if she knew something like this was going to come up. I'm still waiting on the full lawsuit to be published to share all the details with you guys. So keep following me for more.
Okay, I know I said I was Team Blake last time, but in light of Justin's official lawsuit, there's just a few things I can't get out of my head. And I'm gonna summarize some of the key points of the lawsuit. I can't get over the fact that At a press conference for Gossip Girl, she said, "Some of us were born in cages," as a reference to Leighton Meester being born in prison. Tell me I'm misinterpreting that, because I think that speaks a lot to her character. A, that she doesn't know how to tell a joke, because that's not funny. B, that she has so much privilege, it went unchecked. And she's so delusional that she thinks that's appropriate. I know I said I was Team Blake before, but that to me speaks so much about her character that it's hard to get past. So I'm reading the key points of this current lawsuit. And it basically says that there was an issue with her not reading the book, which Baldoni wanted her to read the book and she didn't read it. They had an intimacy coordinator the entire time. There weren't that many kissing scenes that weren't in the script, and that if they happened, she initiated them. That Baldoni supposedly bent over backwards to make her happy, including allowing her to take a stab at the rooftop scene and writing it. And when he came to her apartment, he was kind of like bulldozed by Ryan and her famous best friend, who was Taylor Swift. And they were like, "Isn't it so good? It's so good." Well, turns out that Ryan wrote that probably during the writer's strike, I think. So that's creating some issues. Also, like, the murkiness around that is really bizarre to me. And I know in my last video I said it doesn't matter if you like her or not for this lawsuit to be legit, but I think I'm changing my mind. Like, she's unhinged, the fact that she talked to Leighton Meester that way at a press conference and nobody said anything. That's how sick and twisted this business is that I've been a part of for 20 years, that you let celebrities and people of power get away with this stuff. Ugh! It makes me crazy. What do you think?
Justin Baldoni's priority is to litigate all of this in the court of public opinion. Okay, these lawsuits, they're just a vehicle to get us there. I certainly don't think he expects to get the money he's asking for in either lawsuit. If what he's alleging is true, I think Blake and Ryan severely overplayed their hand. They just could not take the damage that was done to Blake's ego despite the film's commercial success, and they thought they could use this complaint to win back public favor. And it worked for like 5 seconds. I think they specifically went out of their way to paint him as a predator and a danger to women because of his public persona about being very outspoken about women's issues, especially during the press tour for the film, which is something she was very much criticized for not doing. I think that Blake and Ryan thought that what was in those subpoenaed texts between Justin and his PR people and his crisis people was so damning, so horrific, that he would never be able to recover. Even if he did respond with his own receipts, the noise would be too loud, the damage would be done. Because no one can recover from speaking about the Blake Lively that way. Never in their wildest imaginations did either of those people, did they think that there was any circumstance or any receipt that Justin could provide that would make the public go, "Oh, I get it. I get it." That people would be saying, "You took your time, Justin, calling that crisis PR. I would have called them sooner." Anywho, if what he's alleging is true and what I've said is correct, they need to fire their whole team, especially your lawyers, because if they were aware of this paper trail and still deluded you into thinking that the public wouldn't sniff this out, and that would allow you to take the risk of putting false sexual harassment allegations out there, knowing that your main concern is your public reputation, I think Baldoni is angry, and rightfully so. And I think he wants retribution, and the money is just icing, and I'm sure he will get some, honestly, probably from Blake and Ryan, just to make this stop.
When I'm critical of Blake Lively and survivors or people in general come for me in the comments, what they don't realize is I'm actually taking up for them too. When you experience something that is life-altering, like DV or any type of abuse, it changes you, and you have empathy for the abuse of others, for what others experience. And Blake Lively does not have that, never exhibited it at all in her behavior and how she approached the subject. She did not care enough about what, survivors may have experienced, what you experienced, to talk about it in a thoughtful and considerate way when she was promoting this movie. She made the movie promotion about herself, her expensive clothes and jewelry, her new brands that she was promoting, alcohol brand and the hair care brand. So not only do I make these videos because I have a bleeding heart and I imagine Justin Baldoni and his family and his wife being completely distraught because something that he spent so much time and energy on, years, was hijacked. He was basically extorted, pressured, and I just imagine this being the hardest thing he's ever lived through. But I'm also standing up for survivors and people who deserve to be treated with empathy and care and love and tenderness and acknowledgement. Like, all of that matters. And I don't think that Blake had it in her because she hadn't experienced it to know this. But I've read, I see that I feel like Justin was the one that was the victim, and I believe victims.